Hello everyone, I am Shweta J from Commerce Department, Gopal Swami PU College, Mysore. Welcome back to accountancy class. In today's session, we are going to solve another problem from the chapter 1, accounting for not-for-profit organization in session 3. Before going to solve the problem, I would like to tell you some basic information relating to the problem. First of all, there is no balance sheet for a newly started firm. Here in your problem, they have given only receipts and payment account. With the help of the receipts and payment account, we have to prepare income and expenditure account and balance sheet. On the other hand, there is a balance sheet and receipts and payments account for a firm which is already existed. So, with the help of the receipts and payment account and balance sheet, we have to prepare income and expenditure account and balance sheet. Now in today's session, we are going to solve the problem that is relating to the non-profit organization which is already existed. So now here is your example problem. Following is the balance sheet and receipts and payments accounts of Malenadu Sports Club, Chikmagalur. Here they have given balance sheet as on 31st/3/2017. It is also considered as opening balance sheet of non-profit organization. Here on the liability side, they have given outstanding salary 3,200, outstanding rent 800, subscription received in advance 4,000, capital fund 1,30,800. On asset side, cash at bank 52,400, outstanding subscription 4,800, investments 5,200, sports material 43,600, furniture 32,800. And the total of opening balance sheet is 1,38,800. Now coming to the receipts and payments account for the year ending 31st/3/2018. Here this is the current year receipts and payments account of the non-profit organization. So on the receipt side, they have given to balance brought down 52,400. To subscription 2016 and 17 4,800, 2017-18 90,200, 2018-19 4,200. To donations 32,400. To entrance fees 65,200. To interest 2,800. To sale of old sports materials 2,000. On the payment side, by rent 2016-17 800, 17-18 8,800. By salary 2016-17 3,200, 17-18 46 400, 18-19 2,400. And by printing 15,200. By general expenses 10,800. By furniture which was purchased on 31st/3/2018 rupees 48,000. By sports material which was purchased on 1/10/2017 rupees 57,600. By balance carried down 60,800. The total of receipts and payment account is 2,54,000. The next adjustments also given. The first adjustment is subscription outstanding rupees 5,600. Printing unpaid 1,000. Interest accrued rupees 800. Depreciate furniture by 10% and sports material by 10%. Capitalize 50% of donation. So, here in this problem, you are going to prepare income and expenditure account and balance sheet as on 31st/3/2018. Now, I just read out the problem. So, before going to solve the problem, first you should classify all the items which are given in the balance sheet as well as receipts and payments account into capital items and revenue items. So, in the receipts and payments account on debit side, they have given to balance brought down 52,400. This is the cash balance of last year which is already appeared in the asset side of the opening balance sheet. So it is not at all affected anywhere in the problem. So you should ignore this cash balance. The next is to subscription 2016-17 4,800, 2017-18 90,200, 2018-19 4,200. Already you know, subscription means membership fees received by the members for maintaining their membership. So here it is treated as revenue receipts because it is occurred again and again, or it is in a repetitive nature. That's why it is considered as revenue receipts. So here there is an adjustment relating to the subscription. Remember, each and every adjustment should be treated twice. Twice in the sense, once you should record it in income and expenditure account, again it should be recorded in the balance sheet. Here each and every adjustment should be treated twice. So here the first adjustment is subscription outstanding, rupees 5,600. So you should put a star mark in front of the subscription wherever it is given in the account as well as in the balance sheet. So here subscription is given on receipt side, so put a star mark in front of the subscription, as well as put a star mark on balance sheet. On the liability side, subscription received in advance 4,000. Again you have to put a star mark in front of the outstanding subscription which is given in the asset side. If you understand the subscription adjustment correctly, then your 90% problems will be solved. So let me explain the subscription adjustment with the help of the table. Now let's see how to record all these adjustments. So the first adjustment is outstanding subscription of current year. So here this outstanding subscription should be added to the current year subscription in income and expenditure account. So already I told you, adjustment should be treated twice. Once you should record it in income and expenditure account, again it should be recorded on asset side of the balance sheet. The next is outstanding subscription of last year. So here this outstanding subscription of last year is not related to the current year, then we have to deduct this amount from the current year subscription. So here we have to deduct outstanding subscription of last year from the current year subscription in income and expenditure account. And here this outstanding subscription of last year is always given in the balance sheet, opening balance sheet. So here it is not at all affected in the closing balance sheet. The next is, so pre-receipt subscription of last year is related to the current year. So here it is received at the last year, but it is related to the current year. That's why we have to add this pre-receipt subscription to the current subscription in income and expenditure account. Pre-receipt subscription of last year balance sheet ಅಲ್ಲಿ liability side ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. So last year pre-receipt subscription that is related to the current year. So we have to record this pre-receipt subscription to the current year subscription, and this is also not at all affected in the closing balance sheet because it is given in the opening balance sheet, it is not given in the adjustment. If it is given in the adjustment, again it should be treated twice. So next is a pre-receipt subscription of current year. So it is the advance of subscription of current year which is given for next year. So we have to deduct from the current subscription, and here this pre-receipt subscription is given in the adjustment, then it is affected in the balance sheet. You have to record this item on liability side of the balance sheet. See, all the adjustments are relating to the current year. So in simple, current year outstanding should be add and last year outstanding should be less. Current year outstanding should be add and last year outstanding should be less from the current year subscription in the income and expenditure account. So this is all about subscription adjustment. Outstanding subscription, current year outstanding subscription ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು add ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ and last year subscription ಅನ್ನ less ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಪ್ರೀ ರಿಸಿವ್ಡ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೀ ರಿಸಿವ್ಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ closing balance sheet. The next, pre-receipt subscription of current year should be deducted from the current year subscription. Pre-receipt subscription ಅನ್ನ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ಇಂದ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ದಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ಗೆ ಯಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. ಅಂಡ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಅಪಿಯರ್ ಆನ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಸೈಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್. ಆ ಪ್ರೀ ರಿಸಿಟ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಔಟ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ಅಸೆಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೀ ರಿಸಿಟ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ is printing unpaid rupees 1000. So you have to put a star mark in front of the printing which is given on payment side. The next, interest accrued rupees 800. So again you have to put a star mark in front of the interest which is given in the receipt side. The next, depreciate furniture by 10% and sports material by 10%. Again you have to put a star mark in front of the furniture and the sports material which are given in both balance sheet and receipts and payments account. The next, capitalize 50% of donation. Now again you have to put a star mark in front of the donation receipt side. So now before going to solve the problem, you have to classify all the items into capital items and revenue items. Then only you can easily solve the problem. So now you can see receipts and payments account for the year ending 31st/3/2018. On the receipt side, they have given two balance brought down. So here this balance brought down is the opening cash balance which is already appeared in the opening balance sheet. So you should not consider this cash balance anywhere in the problem. You have to ignore this item. And the next is subscription. It is treated as revenue receipts. They have given amounts of 3 different financial year, that is 2016-17. It is referred as previous year. 2017-18 it is referred as current year or present year. 2018-19 it is referred as next year, next financial year. You can say it as past, present and future. The next, to donation, it is treated as capital receipts. It will appear on the liability side of the balance sheet, but there is an adjustment relating to this item. Later I will tell you how to solve this adjustment. The next, to entrance fees. Entrance fees are nothing but initial fees received by the members on their admission. It is treated as revenue receipts. If there is any special instruction given relating to this entrance fees, then it is considered as a capital receipt. Then it should be recorded on liability side of the balance sheet. Then you have to add this entrance fees to the capital fund on the liability side of the balance sheet. Here in this problem, this entrance fees is treated as revenue receipts because there is no special information is given. The next, to interest. So to interest is also considered as revenue receipts. Revenue receipts means the receipts which are occurred again and again. So it is treated as revenue receipts. Again there is an adjustment relating to the interest. And the next is to sale of all sports materials. It is also treated as revenue receipts. So later I will explain why it is treated as revenue receipts. And on the payment side, they have given buy rent, so it is treated as revenue expenditure. Revenue expenditure means it is an expenditure, the benefit from which is exhausted within 1 year. So that's why it is treated as revenue expenditure. And here also they have given two different amount of 2 financial year, that is relating to the previous year and the current year. The next is by salary. It is treated as revenue expenditure. Printing, revenue expenditure. The next, by general expenses, it is also treated as revenue expenditure. And by furniture, it is treated as capital expenditure. By sports materials, capital expenditure. The next, by balance carried down. So here it is the closing cash balance of the current year, then it should be recorded on asset side of the closing balance sheet. So now let's solve the problem. So income and expenditure account prepare ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ payments ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಕೂಡ expenditure side ಗೆ record ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ. Receipts items ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಕೂಡ income side ಗೆ record ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. So here while preparing income and expenditure account, you should consider only revenue items, that too revenue expenditure and revenue receipts. All the revenue expenditure should be recorded on debit side of the income and expenditure account, whereas all the revenue receipts should be recorded on credit side of the income and expenditure account. So the revenue receipts always given on the debit side of the receipts and payments account. Now you have to record them in credit side of the income and expenditure account. Here in your receipts and payments account on debit side ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಗೆ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಕೂಡ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಐಟಮ್ ಇಸ್ to balance brought down. As I told you in the beginning, this cash balance already appeared on asset side of the opening balance sheet. So you need not consider this cash balance in income and expenditure account or in balance sheet. You have to ignore this cash balance. Now move on to the next revenue receipt, that is to subscriptions. So here it is write it as by subscriptions. You have already put a star mark in front of the subscription. The star mark indicates you there is a adjustment. They have given 2016 and 17 4,800. 2017-18 is 90,200. 2018-19 is 4,200. Here in your subscription adjustment, they have given three different amounts of three different financial year. That is 2016-17 4,800, 17-18 90,200, 18-19 4,200. You can say it as 16-17 past, 17-18 present, 18-19 future, or previous year, current year, or next year. So here this 2016-17 4,800, you can see in your balance sheet, it is already appeared on the asset side of the balance sheet. So you have to ignore this 4,800. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ 4,800 ಏನಿದೆ 2016-17 ಅದು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಇದನ್ನ ಇಗ್ನೋರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್, 2017-18, this is the current year subscription. You have to consider only the current year items in income and expenditure account. So now you have to record only current year subscription on credit side of the income and expenditure account as rupees 90,200. ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಹೇಗೆ ನೀವು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಸೊ 2017-18, ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಹೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ 31/3/2018. ಸೊ it will indicates you this is the current year. 2017-18 is the current year subscription. So that is recorded on credit side of the income and expenditure account. Next, add outstanding subscription of current year. So you have to add outstanding subscription of current year. It is given in the adjustment as rupees 5,600. When you add this, you will get 95,800. The next, add pre-received subscription of last year. So here this advance received last year, it is related to the current year. So current year ಗೆ related ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಈ ಪ್ರೀ ರಿಸೀವ್ಡ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಆನ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಸೈಡ್. ಪ್ರೀ ರಿಸೀವ್ಡ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ rupees 4,000. ಸೊ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಪ್ರೀ ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆಡ್ 4,000 to the 95,800, you will get 99,800. And the next is one more adjustment, that is 2018 and 19 4,200. It is given in your receipts and payment account. So this is the advance received in the current year for the next year. Next year ಗೆ ನಾವು ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದನ್ನ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. So here it is given in the receipts and payments account that this adjustment should be recorded directly on the liability side of the closing balance sheet because it is given in the receipts and payments account. The next is to donations. So here there is an adjustment relating to the donation. It is recorded on credit side of income and expenditure account as by donation account. The amount of donation is 32,400. Here they have given 50% of donation is capitalized. So here in your problem, we are going to prepare only two accounts, that is income and expenditure account and balance sheet. So here they have mentioned 50% of donation is capitalized, which means 50% is considered as revenue receipts and another 50% is considered as capital receipts. So now we have to record 50% of donation in income and expenditure account on credit side. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 32,400 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, 50% ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. 50% ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲೈಸ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ 50% ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಆ 50% ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದೆನ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ 16,200. The next item is entrance fees. So here it is also recorded on credit side of the income and expenditure account. Here it is treated as revenue receipts. By entrance fees 65,200. If there is any special information given relating to the entrance fees, then it should be considered as capital receipts. Then it has to be added to the capital fund on liability side of the closing balance sheet. And the next item is interest. By interest, here there is an adjustment relating to the interest. The amount of interest is 2,800 and there is an adjustment relating to the interest, that is interest accrued rupees 800. Interest accrued means interest which was earned but not yet received. So that is known as interest accrued. So now we have to add this interest accrued to the interest amount. Interest accrued rupees 800, so you will get 3,600. The next is to sale of all sports materials. It is treated as revenue receipts. Old sports materials such as old bats, old balls, old nets, etc. is a regular feature of any sports club. That means the receipts from the sale of old sports materials is of recurring nature. So it has to be treated as revenue receipts and credited to the income and expenditure account. Again, all sports materials sold generally do not have any book value, as the book value of these items has already been written off. So whatever the amount received from the sale of all sports materials should be treated as revenue receipts and credited to the income and expenditure account. So now we have to write it as by sale of old sports ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್. ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಬ್ದು ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎನಿ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಗಿವನ್ ರಿಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಿ ಸೇಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ವಿಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್, then it has to be deducted from the concerned asset in the income and expenditure account. Now they have given sale of all sports materials. So when they are given all sports materials, then you have to treat them as revenue receipts, then it should be credited to the income and expenditure account. So the amount of sale of all sports materials is rupees 2,000. So these are all the revenue receipts which are recorded on credit side of the income and expenditure account. Now we have to move on to the expenditure side or debit side. For recording the revenue expenditure, we have to see the payment side in the receipts and payment account. So on the payment side, they have given rent. It is recorded as to rent. Here they have also given 2016-17 800, 17-18 8,800. Before going to write the rent amount, you should check the balance sheet. So here 2016-17 800 is already appeared on the liability side of the opening balance sheet. So when the items which is already appeared on the balance sheet, then we have to ignore it. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಗ್ನೋರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಇಗ್ನೋರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಔಟ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ರೆಂಟ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಇಗ್ನೋರ್ಡ್. Next, we have to consider only the current year items in the income and expenditure account. So here the current year is 2017-18 was rupees 8,800. So record it as 8,800 in amount column. The next item is salary. So it is also considered as revenue expenditure because the benefit from which is exhausted within 1 year. That's why it is treated as revenue expenditure. So it is recorded on debit side of the income and expenditure account as to salary. Here they have given 3 different financial years amount. The first one is 2016 and 17. As usual, 2016 and 17 should be ignored because it is already appeared on the opening balance sheet on liability side as outstanding salary 3,200. You can observe old balance sheet on liability side, outstanding salary 3,200 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Again receipts and payments account ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3,200 ಇದೆ. ಏನ್ outstanding salary ಇತ್ತು 3,200 ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇವಾಗ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಾವು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ no need to record again in the income and expenditure account. The next, consider only the current year item that is 2017-18 46,400 rupees. Record directly in the amount column as 46,400. The next, 2018 and 19. This is the prepaid salary which is given for the next year. So this item is not pertaining to the income and expenditure account. This item particularly recorded in the balance sheet because it is related to the next year. So it is recorded on the asset side of the closing balance sheet. The next, by printing, it is also treated as revenue expenditure. So here it is recorded as to printing. Here there is an adjustment relating to the printing. First, record the amount of printing was rupees 15,200 and in your adjustment, second adjustment they have given printing unpaid. Printing unpaid is nothing but outstanding printing of current year. It should be added to the printing amount as outstanding of current year rupees 1,000. When you add this, it comes to 16,200. The next, general expenses. It is also treated as revenue expenditure. General expenses. The amount of general expenses was rupees 10,800. The next item is furniture. It is treated as capital expenditure. Sports material, capital expenditure, and balance carried on, it is recorded on asset side of the closing balance sheet. These 3 items are not recorded in the income and expenditure account because they are treated as capital expenditure. So now move on to the next adjustment. Depreciate furniture by 10% and sports material by 10%. So here it is recorded on the debit side of the income and expenditure account. Remember, any depreciation is given in your problem, it is recorded on debit side of the income and expenditure account. Here you have to charge depreciation on opening balance of the asset. If there is any additional asset purchased during the year, again you have to charge depreciation on additional assets also. So here to furniture, the opening balance of the furniture was rupees 32,800. Charge depreciation at 10% on 32,800. You will get 3,280. Here on the receipts and payment account, they have also purchased additional furniture which was purchased on 31st 3, 2018. any purchase of asset on at the end of the accounting year for which there is no depreciation is calculated. At the end of the year purchase ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ asset ಅನ್ನ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ depreciation ಅನ್ನ calculate ಮಾಡೋ ಹಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. The next is sports materials. Two sports materials. The opening balance of sports material was rupees 43,600. You have to charge depreciation on 43,600 at 10%. You will get 4,360. Again, you have to charge depreciation on additional purchase of sports material which was purchased during the accounting year as on. Add depreciation on additional sports material. The amount of additional sports material was rupees 57,600 at 10% depreciation into, consider the number of months while calculating depreciation because this sports material was purchased during the accounting year as on 1/10/2017. So now 1/10/2017 you have to charge depreciation from the date of purchase to till the end of the accounting year. From the date of purchase is 1/10/2017 and here the financial year closed on 31st/3/2018. So you will get 6 months from 1/10 to 31st/3, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 6 months. 6 divided by 12. So you will get 2,880. Add both the depreciations together, then you will get 7,240. So after recording all the items in income and expenditure account, now we have to find out whether there is a surplus or deficit. So for this you have to balance this account. First you have to total on the credit side. You will get 1,86,800 and write the same total on debit side because the total of credit is more than the total of debit. That's why we have to write the same total balance on the debit side also. That is 1,86,800. So now after that you have to deduct all the expenditure, all the total of expenditure from the total of income. You will get 94,080. It can be write it as 2 income over the expenditure. And this will represent surplus also. And it is also called as surplus, and this surplus amount should be added to the capital fund on liability side of the closing balance sheet. So when there is a total of credit is more than the total of debit, it represents surplus. If there is total of a debit is more than the total of credit, it represents deficit. If you get deficit, then it should be deducted from the capital fund on liability side of the closing balance sheet. But now in your problem you will get surplus and this will be added to the capital fund on the closing balance sheet on the liability side. So remember, past should be ignored, present should be considered and future should be recorded on the balance sheet, next year balance sheet. So now let's prepare balance sheet, that is closing balance sheet of Malenadu Sports Club Chikmagalur as on 31st/3/2018. As usual, while preparing the closing balance sheet of the firm, you should take the opening balance sheet as base. So now you can observe on asset side of the opening balance sheet, the first item is cash at bank. So record it first, cash at bank. And for recording the amount of cash at bank, you should consider the balance which are given on payment side of the receipts and payments account at the end. So by balance carried down. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಸೈಡಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಬೈ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿಡ್ ಡೌನ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ rupees 60,800. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡೆಡ್ ಆನ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ as rupees 60,800 for cash at bank. And the next item is outstanding subscription of rupees 4,800. So it is not at all recorded in the balance sheet. So next move on to the item that is investment, that is rupees 5,200. The next, sports material. The opening balance of sports material was rupees 43,600. Recorded it in inner column as rupees 43,600. Then add additional purchase of sports material. The additional purchase of sports material was given on the payment side of receipts and payments account was rupees 57,600. When you add both, you will get 1,01,200. Now you have to deduct depreciation less depreciation. The total depreciation of both the sports material which was find out in income and expenditure account on debit side was rupees 7,240. You have to deduct 7,240 from the total of sports material, then it comes to 93,960. The next asset is furniture. The opening balance of furniture which was given in the balance sheet was rupees 32,800. Again here the sports club purchase additional furniture was rupees 48,000. So when you add both, you will get 80,800. Now you have to deduct depreciation from the total of furniture less depreciation, 3,280. You can see in the income and expenditure account on debit side 3,280. So when you deduct 3,280 from 80,800, you will get 77,520. So ಈಗ ನಾವು ಅಸೆಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಾಯ್ತು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಕಮ್ ಟು ದಿ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಸೈಡ್. ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಐಟಮ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಾಸ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್, ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಇಸ್ outstanding salary and outstanding rent. As you all know, these two items should be ignored. The next, subscription received in advance. It was already recorded in the income and expenditure account. The next, capital fund. So now you have to, it is very important, capital fund, you have to record it on liability side. Here they have given opening balance of capital fund was rupees 1,30,800, and to this you have to add surplus amount. Here I get surplus of rupees 94,080 rupees. Again you should add donation because 50% of donation is treated as revenue receipts and the remaining 50% should be treated as capitalized. So capital receipts. Now it should be added to the capital fund. When they are mentioned, when they are clearly mentioned, capitalize the item. So ಯಾವಾಗ ಅವರು ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀವು ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಫಂಡ್ಗೆ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಡೊನೇಷನ್ was rupees 32,400 into 50%. 50% ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ and remaining 50% ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಫಂಡ್ಗೆ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So you will get 16,200. So when you total all these three items, you will get 2,14,080 rupees. So after recording all the items which are already given in the old balance sheet, so now we have to move on to the adjustment. So adjustment, because adjustment should be treated as twice, as you all know. So adjustment ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಎರಡೆರಡು ಸಲ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಾವು ಒನ್ ಟೈಮು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ಯುವರ್ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಒನ್ ಬೈ ಒನ್. Subscription outstanding rupees 5,600. So this subscription outstanding of current year, it is a revenue receipts. So it should be recorded on asset side of the balance sheet. as outstanding subscription 5,000. The second adjustment, printing unpaid. So this is outstanding expenses. When outstanding expenses of current year is given in your adjustment, it should be recorded on liability side of the balance sheet. So now you have to write it as printing unpaid or outstanding printing was rupees 1,000. The next, interest accrued. So this is outstanding income. This outstanding income should be recorded on asset side of the balance sheet as interest accrued was rupees 800. And the next adjustment is depreciate furniture by 10%. Already adu ನಾವು record ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ depreciation ಅನ್ನ. Depreciation on sports material. So already depreciation on sports material ಅನ್ನು record ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. Next, coming to the last adjustment, the capitalize 50% of donation. Also already recorded under the capital fund as a donation 32,000 into 50%. The most important, after recording the items which are given in the balance sheet as well as in the adjustment, now at the last we have to see or we have to check the receipts and payments account whether they have given next year items or not. Here in your problem they have given on receipt side subscription of rupees 4,200 for next year as on 2018 and 19, and this item is directly recorded on the liability side of the closing balance sheet. Remember, this will be recorded on the liability side of the balance sheet. So that is recorded as pre-received subscription. It is the advance of subscription given for current year. This is the advance of current year which is given for next year. Next year subscription anna year ನಾವು receive ಮಾಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, so it should be recorded on the liability side of the closing balance sheet. So pre-receipt subscription was rupees 4,200. So again come to the payment side by salary. So again in the salary also they have given 2018-19 2,400. So it is also related to the next year. It is not related to the current year. So that's why it is recorded on the asset side of the balance sheet as prepaid salary was rupees 2,400. So after recording all the items, then you have to make a total of both the column. If you get the same total on both the side, your problem will be correct. So now first make a total on liability side. You will get 2,46,280. In the same way, make a total on the asset side. When you total, then you will get 2,46,280. So this is how we prepare balance sheet, that is closing balance sheet of the firm. So balance sheet ಅನ್ನ prepare ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ first ನೀವು ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಆ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ನ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದನ್ನ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ. So this is all about income and expenditure account and balance sheet of the firm. And lastly, I know this is a difficult problem to you to learn, but if you understand the theory correctly, then it will easy for you to solve the problem. I hope you have understood today's session. Thank you.